Hold up, hold up, hold up. Now, if your Tuesday night is missing one thing, remember, it is Slam Pack. Because Off the Top Rope presents this week, Slam Pack Week. Starting for your Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your boy Ty Asbury is joined by wrestling sensation Ivelisse. She wrestles in Lucha Underground, Shine Wrestling. She has belt after belt after belt. And believe me, when it comes to her 2022, she ain't bowing down to nobody. Ivelisse joins your boy Ty Asbury on Off the Top Rope Tuesday night. And as always, it will be sizzling.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me now moving out, right on the stereo.
What is up, everybody? Live this Tuesday night. As I always say, it's Tuesday night, and you know what's going down. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. Off the Top Rope is live, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. And my live guest, I've been excited to get her on the show for a very long time. She is multiple champion for promotion after promotion after promotion. She is the Shine Women's Wrestling Champion. In the house tonight, Ivelisse. Ivelisse, what's up, girl?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I love that intro song, by the way.
Well, you're not the only one. It's really catching on, so you're not the only one who said that. So trust me, when the show's over, I'll play it again. You know, everybody says you got to play the song when the show's over with, so I'll play it for you when we wrap up tonight. But thank you for the compliment. I want to compliment you on doing what you're doing, and that's being a badass wrestler. But most importantly, how you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's an honor to have you on the show. I've seen everything you've been doing from, like I said, Shine Wrestling, Lucha Underground, AEW, and it's just a lot of stuff I want to talk about here on the show tonight and going forward. But most importantly, I want to ask you is that how was your 2021 as far as like wrestling? Like I want to ask you right off the bat, like if you look at your year last year in wrestling, how would you describe it? What was like a big, maybe 3 or 2 positive things you took out of last year for 2021?
I guess it's a little bittersweet, I would say. Last year was a little bittersweet. Obviously there's no going around talking about the departure or the separation between me and AEW. It was very unfortunate, but I guess positive would be number one, the fact that I was somehow, some way, miraculously able to keep my head in the game, as people say, enough, or at least focus to manage myself through all those trials and tribulations of that very quick change of events or change of course of my life at that time, especially when I was still recovering from the fire that I had the year before that. There were so many different things all stacked all into one. I'm just utterly grateful that I managed to stay focused enough to overcome all of those things, and somehow, some way, still able to maintain a certain type of momentum in wrestling as well at the same time. And how would I say? I mean, I guess with that momentum, I guess kind of through onto the beginning of this year, and it's like kind of like through all that hard work, which is my motto, hard work over everything. That's what always like pushes me through all these like trials and tribulations that I go through and stuff like that. In my mind, it's always like, well, if you just work extra hard and you just work harder, like no one can take away from you whatever progress you make within that, and you earn it and no one can take that away from you. So it's like how I usually always like persevere through most of the obstacles that I faced in the past. And it's kind of all of that has kind of set up the kind of kick off this year. And I'm just really grateful for that, because it's been a very it was a challenging thing mentally and spiritually. So
Well, you really broke it down in pretty much a really positive way that you've hit some hurdles, but you kept on going, and here you are tonight, talking to the world live about what you've done and what you're going to be doing. I'm sure ahead in the new year, as I'm sure winning more titles that you have now and everything. But as far as we all know, you got so many fans around the world, but people who don't know much about you, they're saying like, man, she's really a badass. Like, what do you want fans who are starting to get to what you're doing? What do you want fans to take away from you being on the show tonight?
um like my entire like I guess like from like being a badass, I mean, thank you whoever thinks I'm a badass. uh but like I guess it all centers around like what I like base my whole life, because I've been grinding for 18 years. Like a person that lived by the motto of hard work over everything and bow to none, like which is basically like just staying true to who you are, um, bowing to no, you know, person or challenge more than anything. Like that kind of shapes, I guess that's what kind of shapes that type of person that they perceive as badass. But like my whole life, I've never allowed any type of trial or tribulation. Like I come from nothing, straight from the Caribbean, have absolutely worked my way up through through everything that has to do not just with in like in life and personal the personal aspect, not just with wrestling, but I apply that to my personal life and to wrestling, and it's just I feel like those are the main things that have shaped me, like Ivelisse Velez, the person, and has also helped shape La Sicaria, which is the character I was able to develop um, through all these years. Is 18 years. That's a long time, building, in different aspects. So that's like really the base of me, the person who brings this character to life and the character as well. That's what like envelops, I guess, the essence of badass.
Well, I've really, and you could say that I'm wrong, but I've done my handy dandy research, and you've been wrestling since you started out when you were like pretty much around like 15 years old. And when I saw that, I was like, man, that is like absolutely like crazy, but in a good way, really cool. And do you have any time to like reflect on that? Like you say to yourself, damn, I've been doing this since I was like 15, or you just don't think about it, you just keep on going.
Well, it's kind of a mixture of that. Like I get reminded, like you, when you say it's like, yeah, and I'm like, yes, damn. Like even I like react to that the same way. Like, oh my god, like this is a long time, 18 years. Like I go through those motions, I feel it, but like you just said, like through all that time, I have no choice but to just keep moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, because I'm always looking to progress, looking to progress, looking to progress, looking to to just continue to be continue to elevate, and yeah, like you know the few times that I do get to kind of stop and think back, yes, I do feel like that. It's like wow, like this is has been a quite a wild ride and a long one, and it's even also why like during the pandemic and during and all this happened and last year and everything, it really also put me into the perspective of like, okay, it's close to 2 decades. My body has my mental health, everything. Like it's been a lot. So I have to start with a game plan for that transition when I have to pull back from putting my body from through so much abuse. And yeah, so I mean, few more years, and I think that's it. Just to save my just to save my body and my mental sanity from all the trials and tribulations that I've faced.
Yeah, great. It's a lot. I mean, just like like you said, the grind you've been going through wrestling so many years, and it's just like, do I mean, you don't want it to say it to happen to nobody, but like, is there a point in time where you're? I think everybody's body adapts differently, but like for you, like, do you feel like maybe pretty like, oh, I'm so beat up, or it's not? It doesn't happen with you. I guess it would
Oh
depend
yeah,
on the person.
oh yeah, all the time. But you know, like us as pro wrestlers, no matter what, we gotta go out there and perform, no matter what. Um, and even like I wouldn't say so much like I would say I guess the past few years has been clearly obviously when I have really felt it the most, but thank God I've been able to be very disciplined with like going religiously to the chiropractor and stuff like that I've been doing for the last couple years that has helped me immensely to be able to perform still like at the level that I perform still and like you know just a few other different little things that I've done to kind of keep my body at a certain level to be able to perform still at a certain level. But even then, like, you know, thank God I'm healthy right now enough to still do it. But even then, I still, in my mind, feel like regardless, like if I can, like the best case scenario for me personally would be if I can step away from pro wrestling as healthy as I'm right now, or even that would be wonderful. That's the goal.
Well, we don't want you to step away from wrestling right now because you got so much you still have to do, in wrestling. So we don't want you to step away
I'm gonna
just
give
yet.
it all I got, and then it's time to dip. I'm gonna
Now
give it
you
all I
work.
got left, and that's it. And then it'll be time to dip because, and also
I
too,
got
another reason, like no lie, too, is because I know everything that I've gone through and everything that like I've sacrificed and everything for 2 decades, and like to do that and go through that, and then what I faced last year, so it felt for nothing because you get to a point where you get so underappreciated that I was like, oh my God, I've given my entire life to this to be trash. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna give it what I got left and then I can walk away. And you know what I mean? That's kind of, it was another kind of like reality also uh, of last year as well in terms of like the mental aspect as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give it all I got left, like performance sense, like putting my line for the sake of the entertainment, like that aspect and like that sacrifice or whatever. And then yeah, and then it's that transitioning to everything else, like the training and the agenting and like whatever other stuff that I can contribute, but from here, not like putting my body on the line no more.
now you said you worked on a lot of things like it's good as a wrestler to mentally, you know, be up there and be in good shape. When it comes to from a mental aspect. Now, do you do things to get you mentally ready? Like maybe read a book, listen to music, or like what does Ivelisse like? What do you do?
For matches per se, no. Like I don't, everyone's different, but like I
Yeah.
don't really have anything like for myself like to like when I'm gonna perform. I usually do pretty well. Because again, I have like a military demeanor, so like in my mind, it's like it's all a matter of keeping your nerves as cool as possible to execute whatever it is you need to execute, like go to war, So it's like, but I do a lot of stuff for all the in between, for all the mental challenges of in between. I read a lot about different psychological things to like help self have a lot of different stuff. And like throughout my entire life, like I'm always reading on things that to help you, self motivation stuff, like psychology stuff, like everything has to get me through all these years.
Now,
Because again, I've
actually,
been by myself grinding as well, so I have to.
but that's a really cool thing. Like, I'm sure everybody watching the show live, could you maybe give tips to everybody what you've been doing to help keep you? Because I mean, not outside the ring, but in life in general, could you maybe give everybody maybe some help who maybe could use that mental help? Like, what do you do to maybe help other people out?
Toughness, that mental resilience. What helps me, like I said, is my two models help me a lot. It's helped me throughout my entire life a lot. Hard work over everything, because when you work so hard for things, like that pride that you feel when you accomplish it, no one can take that from you. And when you work hard to develop yourself to a certain level, develop your skill, develop your whatever, it's like no one can take that from you. Like if you focus on the things that only you can control, no one can take anything away from you, and no one can, stop you or influence you or anything like that. Uh so always believing that your hard work will pay off, and you deserve that payoff from the hard work you put in. And also my about is just, um I know it sounds like, depends how you hear it or whatever. Because some people might hear it and head it's like, oh, it's egotistical or whatever. No, it's about just bowing down to no perception, no limiting belief. It's bowing down to no limiting belief, whether it be from a different person, whether it be from a challenge that inspires that limiting belief, or even yourself sometimes too. So yeah, or anything negative that would inspire you to have any limiting belief. So those are the two main things. And another third one I would say that really has helped a lot throughout my entire life is affirmations. Whether it's you tell them to yourself or you hear affirmations from other recordings or whatever, positive affirmations of yourself, especially if you're in an environment that is spewing a lot of negativity towards you. In order for you to resist against that, kind of like the bow to none thing, to resist against that and focus on your positive traits or your positive things and whatever, so you don't get destroyed, um shut down or whatever. Just feeding your mind with positive affirmations, and knowing in your head that you are worthy of what you're working hard for. You know what I mean? Those are all the main things that have helped me throughout my whole life, to building and maintaining that utter resiliency through everything.
Now, of course, Evilise
Or I
said,
don't think resiliency is a word. Resilience. Resilience.
well, I want to say here,
We're making up
here,
words over here.
here on off the top rope live tonight. You know, we got a positive show going on. Evilise is kicking it. Telling everybody mentally be up there, stay positive, and that's why she's making this episode of Off the Top Rope positive tonight. The Shine Women's Champion Ivelisse is in the house. So you want to comment, ask her a question, whatever she is here tonight, here on Off the Top Rope. Now, Ivelisse, I want to ask you. The one thing is that you don't have one of your Hall of Fame worthy hats on. 'Cause I know that's your style. You wear hats to the ring. And I was like, oh man, where's one of her hats at? So like,
I'm out of stock. I do have mine that I wear to the ring, but
yeah, I noticed. Really, I want to ask you, how many hats? I know you, like I said, you wear them to the ring. That's what you do. How many overall hats? If you can count, how many do you have?
I think like maybe four.
Four. But that's a cool thing to like, because it when I see you come to the ring with that hat on, it just shows you're a badass, and I think that's the way to be. I mean,
Especially Hannah. It's like it's ready for war. Time for
now
war.
you of course when I'd say you look back at, of course, 2019, Shine Wrestling came along and everything. I'm sorry, actually, it was like, Lucha Underground came along. You had a really good 2019 with, Lucha Underground and everything. And like, what has Lucha Underground, like, taught you? And if you want to say, as well as Shine Wrestling, what have they taught you, up until this point, to pretty much be who you are today? Like, what have they taught you?
Well, with Shine, I'm eternally grateful because that Shine was the platform from the get go throughout all the time. Has been the platform where I first off, Ivelisse is in every way. First of all, as a performer, because that's how I started off. Who Ivelisse really is as a performer, and that was the platform where I was able to have to develop the character that I could easily present, um and be able to develop her and everything about her, etc. So with Shine, I'm eternally grateful always for that, um because politics always have been the absolute biggest obstacle for me everywhere else. So that when I got to Shine, I was appreciated utterly for my work. That was like my like the first time I was able to feel like, okay, I'm appreciated. Okay, and then and that's when all the like matches of the night, matches of the years, and all that stuff back then, and like everything started blowing up, and I was able to get on the top 10 PWI at that time, etc., and all that, and like all through like all that hard work that I wasn't allowed elsewhere because of politics and whatever. Um, and then when I was able to maximize that as much as possible with Shine, that's when Lucha Underground came up, and there took a little bit to like get to like to what I was talking about, like with Shine. It took a little bit to get to that, but eventually I was able to do that as well. It didn't fully pay off until season 4 that I was able to be Ivelisse, like myself. What I had created for myself, I wasn't able to fully present it in Lucha Underground until season 4. Um, but I really, what I was able to take away from Lucha Underground was, the Hollywood style stuff. That was what was different of Lucha Underground that I had experienced elsewhere. Not even in WWE, because in Lucha Underground it was very, very Hollywood style, like the way they filmed everything, of the acting and everything. So I was able to get a glimpse of that, and that was very fun. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have done that, the acting part and that acting aspect as well. So, and then yeah, the fact that I was able to, a little late, but still was able to present Ivelisse, who Ivelisse really is, eventually as well.
Now, for the two promotions, now you broke down the story in a really cool way, how it started, and here you are now performing for both of these wonderful promotions. Since you're there now, what do you feel? What have you have brought to both of these promotions that maybe nobody else has done? Like, what do you feel like you brought to the table with Lucha Underground and Shine Wrestling?
Um, I mean, I'm not sure I understand the question. Like, what do you mean? What did I bring to the table?
I mean,
I
feel
mean,
free, like maybe like something that never been done before, or interest from the fans, along those lines.
oh, okay, okay. Now I have a little bit of a better idea of what exactly you mean. Okay. At least for Shine, uh, definitely I had a very different. My character, I guess, was something a little not common or a little uncommon. So I was able to that was something different, other than great skill wrestling or whatever. Obviously I brought that to the table. Many others brought that to the table as well. But at least as a character, I was also able to bring something different. My character, as I developed her and was able to fully develop her, I was, I'm a gang leader. I'm a female gang leader, so that's something that was barely seen, at least at that time. I mean, we've done ways, but at least at that time, I technically was the one who first kind of started that, or at least had the guts to at that time. And again, at least Shine gave me the chance to as well. That is also a massive aspect. So that aside from good wrestling or whatever, that those two combined was thing very different that I brought to the table. Shine, and then kind of the same for Underground, but again that the character aspect I wasn't able to fully bring it to like towards the end of Lucha Underground, but also in the skill part, like since in Lucha Underground they did a lot of intergender wrestling, I was able to show or present, if you will, entered wrestling as well to the fans that it was kind of new to some people as well because it was like the first mainstream at that time, first like mainstream product that was showing intergender wrestling and broadcasting it like super wildly compared to the other major companies at that time. Even though technically Lucha Underground wasn't a company, but still it was considered a major, a major wrestling entity, let's say. And they were bringing the whole intergender stuff, which I was utterly comfortable with. So I guess that was another thing that I was bringing different to the table.
Now, Ivelisse, this part of the show, this is where I got to put all my guests on the spot. So this is where you really got to think for this
Uh-oh.
question. So this segment, I call it Damn Ty. That is good. Ready to hear the question?
I don't know.
All right, so we all know you go by, bow to none.
I think
That's
I
what
am.
so you go by the phrase and this who you are, bow to none, because you don't bow to nobody in the ring because that's just because you're badass. That's what you do. So you're very familiar, of course, with
Hmm.
Puerto Rico and everything. So the question is, if you had a chance to do a pay per view in Puerto Rico using the name Bow to None, what venue in Puerto Rico would you hold the event in, and who would you face in the main event, and what type of match would it be?
Hmm. Forgot the name of the main. uh, Miguel Agrelot, I think, is the Coliseum, the biggest Coliseum, the biggest Coliseum. I forgot the name. Damn, that's a lot of shame. uh, that venue, so the biggest venue, uh, which damn, I forgot the name, but yeah, biggest venue. And honestly, I would say that I would pick a fellow. I would want to pick a fellow, uh, whether it be from the island, straight from the island, any of the remaining ones that are currently still wrestling. So I guess I could say like it could either be either Black Rose or it could be La Rosa Negra. She goes by La Rosa Negra now, or it could be Mercedes Martinez. Anyone that has had the same journey as me, that we could share that experience for the island itself. Itself, I feel that it would mean the most to me, and I feel like it would mean the most to my island as well, because we're very prideful of our heritage and like our people, etc., like that. So I would say the biggest venue with one of my other fellow female Boricua warrioresses.
That well,
It
that
would just be
you
the
broke
most
that
meaningful.
you broke down the answer simple and straight to the point because there's been other
Mhm.
people on the show where they're big like man, but you answered that like in a badass way and much appreciated for answering that question. Now you got like some really cool things coming up, and I want to pull them up on here on the broadcast here that we talked about this before we came on the air. Now May 21st. You know this is a big event, of course. WW, and that's a lot of talented ladies on there, including yourself. What are you looking at heading into this? This is going to be a badass show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really do. I There's nothing but vibes are and everything that has to do with this. Thank God. That's part of one of the kind of like positive things that has what I had mentioned earlier in the interview, of like things coming and kicking off this year. This is one of the things lined up, and it's gonna kick off in May, and I have a big influence in this show coming up, and I'm really excited to give it all I got in every sense of the word. This is gonna be a big avenue of kind of what I mentioned earlier, where I'm just gonna give it all I got in the time I have left in pro wrestling. This is a big part of that. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for all of the things. So it'll be everything that I'm kicking off all together with Shine laid out and now UWW, so Ultimate Women's Wrestling. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it in every sense, and it's gonna be awesome. Nothing but positive vibes, and
Positive vibe.
I'm gonna give it all I got. But everything I got left, I'm gonna give it all.
That's the only thing you can do is give it what you got, and like, and you keep saying that, I think you're gonna be wrestling, for a few more years, and you still got a lot of steam in the engine. So, but I really think with May 21st and lots of stuff coming up, you got to defend your titles. I really think 2022 people better watch out for Ivelisse, in the ring. But we continue because I did some research, and you also got some training coming up too. And I saw this, I was
Yeah.
like, this is really cool, where you can pass down the knowledge to people who want to be in wrestling, and I'm sure this is a great opportunity for you, and I'm sure you're blessed to be involved with this.
Yes, that's also part of what I just mentioned. This is kind of dipping my feet and laying down the groundwork for that transition that I'm talking about. That is just inevitable eventually. Uh, and yeah, this is kind of dipping my feet in it and creating the groundwork. And another thing I'm excited for, because I love helping people. Because I've seen it, I've experienced it myself, and I've seen it like how tough that journey can be, and not a lot of guidance, and there's always so much competitiveness and cattiness and blah 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 and all that stuff, and like I all that I have in here, I would want to give it, like to people who want to progress, who want to do, to improve, and whoever it is, whoever, if you want it, come get it. Let me give you, like, give you that knowledge in every way, and that's how I'll be able to continue to contribute towards women's wrestling once I make that transition. And I feel I don't want to give it through my body and abusing it anymore. um, so yeah, that's also part of the whole game plan of it all.
Do you think when you look at, you said you've seen as far as how training to be a wrestler today is, do you have you seen things that maybe that is not being done that you would like to do to help people train, or that's not really the case?
There's so many different things, especially as a female. There like the journey of a female professional wrestler is so different and unique to that of a man. Um, like there's so many, like, not to take anything away. I'm not in any way, because I know people will take something and misconstrue or whatever, but it's just inevitable. It's an inevitable reality. That there's a lot of things that are only be able to teach another their journey of professional wrestling. So that's where it becomes just a unique, priceless type of, things to like train, from training with women specifically. I feel it's very useful in that difference. um there's clearly, obviously, many things that can be learned from a male professional wrestler, but there's just certain things that only a woman would know, that has actually experienced through that journey in the male dominated business, etc. Just certain things that a man can't teach another female wrestler. And that, obviously, that's where the female coaches and the female trainers come in handy for those other um, things that just don't in terms of that difference between genders. Yeah, I would say.
Hey, I was really listening to that because that was some serious preaching you did with that. And to all the ladies out there wanting to be wrestlers, you know, really take into consideration, what Ivelisse said about wanting to break into the business. Now, Ivelisse, as we conclude this awesome episode of Off the Top Rope, we all want to know what's up next for you with Lucha Underground, Shine Wrestling. I mean, training, tournaments coming up. What is up next for the one and only Ivelisse?
Well, I mean, it's really search. I mean, at Shine Wrestling, I have the Shine Championship. So I guess let's run with that. Let's see where that takes it. Who's gonna dethrone La Sicaria, right? Whether it be at Shine or Ladies Night Out. And also, now this new project with Ultimate Women's Wrestling. We'll see how it all plays out, huh? Stay tuned.
That's the way I say it. Stay tuned. And hey, I think when it comes to and I say it this way, you always got to stay tuned to greatness, because when it comes to greatness, you want to kind of just sweat it out a little bit, because greatness, you got to take your time with that. But most importantly, Ivelisse, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. But most importantly, stay healthy, be safe, and keep kicking ass and taking titles, and that's what you do.
Same to you. Thanks for having me.
But most important, I want to ask you the biggest question of all: from 1 to 10, would you ever come back on the show again? Get a 10. I get a 10. I'll take that. I'll take that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. The Shine Women's Wrestling Champion, AEW, Lucha Underground. She is doing it all. The one and only Ivelisse was in the house tonight. I'm your boy, Ty Asbury. Thank you for watching this live episode of Off the Top Rope. And I know everybody loves to hear it, so we're going to bust the show up with the theme song and now the really great show. So I'm Ty Asbury. God bless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So she's ready to hear it. So I'm going to kick the theme song. So everybody listen to it and enjoy. Peace out.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury, yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, so clear us. It's the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me now moving out, later on the stereo. Every podcast live, you know the feeling. This is the time.